JaidynReiman.
Hey guys, it's JaidynReiman. Unfortunately, I was busy the past 2 weekends. First when my sisters came to visit, then when I went to visit my family, whom I haven't seen in 4 months. Since this happened across 2 consecutive weekends, I didn't have time for much, including making a new discussion. And this weekend I've been a bit distracted with DK64. As of this recording, I got everything 100% completed prior to Creepy Castle. So, I recorded my reactions to the recent Nintendo Direct, but I never got online. And no, I'm not going to upload them at this point since it's kinda late and everyone's already been talking about Lucas and the ballot. Now that Mewtwo is out though, some interesting things have been popping up in the game's code, so it's time to look at what's been discovered and discuss what we could possibly be seeing in the future. So the first interesting thing that came up in the April Nintendo Direct is the Smash Ballot, alongside the announcement that Lucas is coming back with Mewtwo. Not only is additional character DLC confirmed to happen, but you can vote on who you want to appear in the game through the Smash Ballot. Not all characters can get in, of course, as they've stated several times, but you can vote for any video game character, and these suggestions will be considered for future games, as well as DLC in Smash for Wii U and 3DS. Of course, note that you can vote for any video game character, as in characters that originated from video games. There's a lot of speculation who could be coming from the ballot. Since they pull off this massive effort to get people involved in Smash and requesting their characters, I definitely expect we'll be getting several characters out of the ballot. Maybe one possible non-Nintendo character, but mostly Nintendo characters. Since the ballot started off, numerous polls have been held online to try and determine who is currently popular in various sites. Despite mixed results, one consistent thing is that King K. Rool and Isaac seem to be the top voted Nintendo characters overall. And yes, I said characters, not newcomers. Veterans you'd think would place higher, but most polls aren't doing that. That said, there's been a ton of support for various third-party characters, mostly Shovel Knight, Shantae, and Quote. Banjo and Kazooie seem to be popularly suggested right now as well, after the comments by Phil Spencer. Naturally though, most of these polls are from English-speaking countries only, so it's mostly in parts of Europe, especially the UK, Australia, and the Americas. As far as the third parties go, you really shouldn't expect too many. From the ballot itself, I can see maybe one getting through, and even then they have to be both extremely iconic characters, and not owned by another first-party developer, like Banjo and Kazooie. It's unrealistic to think that they've even got a remote chance of being added to Smash, unfortunately. And I also find indies unlikely, especially ones with no Japanese backing at all, but I'd say at least indies have a chance of making it in the game. Mewtwo released just this past week to a mixed reception. Although I did get Mewtwo, I'm not that interested in him, but more what has been discovered in the game code. Of course, hackers have already opened up Smash 3DS and found tons of interesting things in the patch. Keep in mind this is the 3DS version only. As far as I'm aware, no leftover data was found in Smash Wii U. The first thing noted after Mewtwo was released is that there's sound files for 2 new, never before known characters. That being Roy from Fire Emblem and Ryu from Street Fighter. And we know it's Ryu from Street Fighter because the audio file for Ryu is a victory theme from Street Fighter 2, which is also among the most popular Street Fighter games, and Street Fighter 2 did amazingly well on Super Nintendo. The main question people have, of course, is why? Why is this data in the game? Presumably they're being developed as characters, since this is character data. Roy was a character heavily questioned by many, myself included, because we already have Lucina in the game as a Marth clone, as well as another character named Roy. However, he's also a popularly requested veteran character, and veterans are especially popular in Japan. As for Ryu, that's a lot more questionable. Although Street Fighter 2 is a massive success on Super Nintendo, Street Fighter hasn't gotten much attention on Nintendo lately. Of course, Street Fighter didn't release games often for many years, with a huge gap between 3 and 4, and now 5 is exclusive to PlayStation 4 as far as we know. If we are getting Ryu, I'd say the odds are pretty good that Nintendo and Capcom made a video game deal. Perhaps with Capcom making a crossover game sort of like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, only with Nintendo instead. Or maybe Nintendo vs Capcom. Additional data in the game has also surfaced, which includes data hinting at potential stage DLC. The main data cited is some Kirby music tracks in the game. Speculation holds that it's for Dreamland 64. Also interesting is that if any Kirby characters appear as the first characters on a stage in Smash 3DS, instead of loading the Kirby stage, they now load Battlefield. What's odd with this is that except for Mii Fighters, no characters are ever supposed to be encountered on Battlefield in Classic mode. Even more info has been discovered in a list of what appears to be character models in the game's code. At one point, Mario was copied 5 times, perhaps even 6 times, with the first one being renamed Mewtwo later. This information could be nothing, but could also indicate that they copied Mario's name for the number of characters they planned to create. Of course, people are immediately jumping the gun on this and assuming that this could be a restriction, but it's probably not a restriction. It's simply showing the number of characters they've been working on up to Mewtwo's release, not how many they plan to work on in total. The biggest take out of all of this is that veterans are getting top priority, and numerous veteran characters will be released over the course of this year. Mewtwo is first, then Lucas, then probably Roy, and likely later even Wolf. Wolf naturally is still basically a lock if both Roy and Lucas are already in the works. But if this information is accurate, then there are 5 additional characters being worked on in addition to Mewtwo. We could be getting a ton of DLC for this game. Even Roy and Ryu were interesting finds, but now it looks like we can have even more than just them. With veterans getting priority before the ballot, I'd wager that veterans won't really get taken into consideration when it comes to the ballot, since they already know veterans are popular quests and they're already working on them. Of the remaining veterans, Ivysaur and Squirtle are iffy since they were previously combined with Charizard, and we've already got Pokemon character DLC. Pichu was never really all that well liked, Snake is questionable to Konami's current status with Kojima, and Ice Climbers had technical difficulties getting them work on 3DS. There was Young Link, but there's little chance of a third Link being brought back, especially since Young Link is kind of replaced by Toon Link. If Nintendo has been working on 6 characters as the game day implies, Wolf is probably one of the last 2. But who could the other one be? Probably either a cut newcomer, or perhaps working on a popular new request. Regardless, since this data is in the game already and the ballot mostly will not be considered for 6 months, this data is likely in addition to whatever they have planned for the ballot, not including the ballot. And seriously, there's no way they'll hype everyone up with the ballot to vote for the favorite characters and only include one character from it. Odds are we'll probably get several characters from Smash Ballot, especially since this leaked game data implies they're working on several characters already, so they'd probably do the same with the ballot characters, work on several at once so it's easier to manage. Granted, since most of these known DLC characters are veterans, some of whom are similar to existing characters, the ballot characters made later will definitely be fewer in number, but I do think we'd get at least 3 from the ballot. With this new data, we found a lot of potential information out about the game. There's a lot of mixed perceptions, of course. Many immediately assume the worst, such as the more characters being developed before the ballot means less characters developed from the ballot. I'm sorry, but I find that very unlikely. If anything, the more characters being developed pre-ballot increases the odds of several characters being developed through the ballot. Now, who those characters be? King K. Isaac seem to be the frontrunners for Nintendo right now. I certainly hope the information we see online is accurate, as they've been my number 1 and number 2 most wanted Smash characters since the very start of speculation. As for third-party characters, I think Ryu establishes a trend. They have to be extremely iconic characters. I don't really see that many DLC third parties happening, and I only see a third party happening through the ballot if they get a massive influx of support. And even then, a character like Banjo-Kazooie, I don't know, not in a million years. Nintendo would have to buy the franchise back, and odds are Microsoft would not sell it. Anyway, if you like this discussion, send me a comment in the comment section below, like this discussion, and share it with your friends. If you have any suggestions for future topics, also please let me know in a comment. That's all I have for today, but stay tuned for future discussions where I'll talk about additional things revealed in Nintendo Direct. Until next time, this is JaidynReiman, signing out.